All right, Shalom. I decided to make this a part two of the video of this book right here that I got, The Image of the Black in Western Art, Images of Israelites in the Ancient Greco-Roman Empire. So this is from page 205. It's important to bring this out. This image right here, you can see another Jake from picture 256, 258. What's 256? Right. All these right here, all these images right here. Let me put that down like that. All these images. See how they try to cut off the nose, the mouth, which they did. Right. Esau is called a covering cast over all people. This devil don't want you to know you're an Israelite. He wants you to call yourself everything underneath the sun but an Israelite. I was watching a movie, what's that movie, Roots, yesterday. I watched almost the whole thing, and this devil wanted Jake to not call himself or that Jake in the movie not to call himself by Pt.2, but your name is Toby, and he whipped him. And he lashed him, severely lashed him. Your name is right. He wanted to knock the name out of you. That's, you wanted to, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted you to call him, he wanted you to call yourself by the name that he gave you, right? These proverbs and bywords, matter of fact, I'll grab that right quick. Right, so he couldn't call himself Kuta Kente, he had to call himself Toby. Right? What Esau did when we came here to the Americas, he stripped the Israelite out of us. He stripped us of our flesh. That's what he did. If your Christian pastor is not teaching you that you're an Israelite, he's stripping your flesh from off you. He's filleting your skin off you, meaning your identity. He's stripping your identity from you. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai shall lead thee. A proverb, calling yourself black, calling yourself Hispanic, a Latino, a Mexican. Anyway, now I'm going to read from page 205. It says here, best in Hellenistic art. Hellenistic art. Another such work is the study in basalt. Basalt is a type of hard stone. Of a young black in Athens, a young Israelite in Athens, Greece, also apparently a musician. Listen closely. Though the arms are broken off, they seem to have supported an instrument on the left shoulder. I believe it's the image right here. That image right there. Check this one out. This one's from France. Jake, man. It says here, in both cases, the artists were obviously attempting to capture the mood of the moment. The expressions of the youths suggest that their music recalled memories of their faraway homes, because Israelites were a scattered people. When we were in Egypt is not our original home. Israel is. Jerusalem is. The land of Israel, or the Fertile Crescent, or the land of Israel to be exact, is our home. Right? But the scriptures do say in 2nd Ezra that the earth was made for our sakes. We are going to rule the whole entire earth and then some. Best believe that. We're going to rule over our oppressors. All right, we're going to have the say so. Right? These heathens cannot move without our, command. Right? But Esau is going to be exterminated after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery underneath the Israelites. All these heathens too, the East Indians, the Africans, the Japhites, the Fiji Islanders, the Polynesians, the Hawaiians, they will be our slaves. And if you go back to an Edomite and you might appear You might appear to look like a Jake, but you go back to an Edomite, you're going to be my slave, our slaves. Check this out. The expressions of the youth suggest that their music recalled memories of their faraway homes, right? Because you had Israelites scattered. That's the missionary journeys that the apostles took, was to gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahushua commanded the apostles to gather the lost sheep because Yahushua understood the history of the Greek Empire. Now we understand the history of Israelites and the diaspora of the Israelites being scattered into these various land masses. So what's happening today, we don't really have to go physically to those locations, but we have the internet, which does the heavy lifting for us. So, and that's what's gathering the Israelite foreigners, the internet, or the World Wide Web. The expressions of the youth suggest that their music recalled memories of their faraway homes, even with a slight knowledge of an alien tongue. Israelites spoke Greek, excuse me. They spoke other languages. Acts chapter 2 goes into that. Let's grab that right quick. This Acts 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, Jews, Israelites, or the southern kingdom, devout men out of every nation under heaven, right? Because Israelites were scattered amongst the heathens. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? Now the language of Galilee was the Paleo-Hebrew. Yahushua spoke the Paleo-Hebrew. The Apostle Paul spoke the Paleo-Hebrew. He understood the Paleo-Hebrew. When Yahushua spoke to the Apostle Paul, the Apostle Paul said, I heard in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Because the Apostle Paul spoke the Hebrew tongue. The Apostle Peter spoke the Hebrew tongue. But you had Israelites, they spoke various languages. And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia. That's in Babylon. And in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, North Africa, about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome. Israelites were in Rome. So you got GMS Italy. Look those brothers up. Subscribe to their channel, GMS Italy. GMS Italy. Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, who do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. It says here, even with a slight knowledge of an alien tongue, a newcomer could earn a livelihood as a musician, singer, or dancer. Let's go back here. The expressions of the youth suggest that their music recalled memories of their faraway home. This is Psalm 137, verse 1 through 4. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat, yea, we wept when we remember Zion. We hang our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth. In that movie, Roots, the slave master required of Israelites or the slaves a song. Sing to us one of your songs. You see the pattern? It always is nothing new under the sun. The pattern remains the same. There's nothing new under the sun. Israelites, we sang to our oppressors in the ancient world, the Greco-Roman Empire, the Babylonian Empire, which is around 616 BC to like 539 BC. We were slaves to the Babylonians. Just like here in America, our oppressor and slave master wanted us to sing one of the songs of Zion. So we did just that. Look up the roots. We did that. Fiddler, you had the guy, the slave fiddler. Esau's like, master wants to hear you fiddle. All right, so he's on a whatever instrument whatever they call it, fiddle or whatever. But anyway, he's on an instrument playing a tune for the master. The master was very like, man, he loved the sound, right? Because Jake, we are the best in everything we do. Music, sports, arts, everything. It says here, oh yeah, and by the way, by the rivers of Babylon, you have a reggae, let's pull this up. By the rivers of Babylon, music. You have Benjamites from the tribe of Benjamin, rivers of Babylon. Boney M, other people saying it too. But you had this particular Boney M. Let me see something. Lyrics. But it's from Benjamites, but there's a song called Rivers of Babylon. Song by Boney M. And there's reggae artists that sing, because the tribe of Benjamin always speaks about Babylon. They always even refer to America as being Babylon. But it says here, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept. When we remember Zion by the rivers of Babylon, we are the same people that were in the Babylonian captivity. The same people that live in Jamaica were in the Babylonian captivity. The same people that were slaves here in America, which today we still are. We are still captives. We are still captives and subject to payments. We were slaves back then in the Babylonian Empire. When we remember Zion by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, when we remember Zion. Let me finish reading this right quick. So it says here, verse 3, for there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. Sing one of those songs. Sing one of those songs, boy. Sing one of those songs. And this is spiritual because this is actually referring to here in America. Yes, it is referring to back then, but it's really referring to here in America as well. Or it is referring here to America, just in general. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? You see that? So, this, man. Look at an old Jake. Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, Massachusetts. Hellenistic period. A statuette of a young orator. Look at that. Old Jake. Old Jake. Might have been an old bottle, but nonetheless, he's a Jake. Statuette of a juggler from Thebes, Hellenistic period. Berlin Museum. If we're not the Israelites, I want you people out there, not you brothers, but you damn scoffers, I want you to tell me who are the people of the book. We fit the description perfectly. It's clear as day. You can't argue that. You can't rebuttal or rebuke this truth. You're not going to win. You're not going to prosper. The Most High put a spirit in us that our enemies cannot resist or gainsay. You ain't going to prosper. With that, Shalom, part 2.